teams at IEM Fall have adopted that system and been able to implement it effectively. So Heroic are going to have a bit of a test ahead of us, that's for sure, but I don't have a doubt they're going to make it at least a very, very close fight. OG are going to have to really put the pedal to the metal, especially with them starting T-side.
I think if it's any team to start really getting the wacky stuff in from all these grenade drops, it's going to be a team like OG. We've already seen glimpses of it. We just haven't seen the full package. And this might be something that takes months to develop and something that it doesn't just happen overnight. And what does happen overnight is perhaps a victory to come in from OG. Alexi B just playing up from this half wall. There is players all around that they don't quite know about just yet.
He does love to play around this corner very frequently. Stown, though, make sure that he doesn't get run over. And so that first point of contact, Nate to follow up. OG are fighting from distance, but they're not finding too much success. Stown just keeps tapping away. That bomb is out in the open. And now Valde has to basically deploy the smoke, it feels like, if not for the fact that Heroic had actually given up that fight. Instead, just happy with that man advantage. OG can reset off of this. There's a lot of time on this clock to really run things over towards the A side as well, but Heroic can be anywhere.
Yeah, this is not a good start at all from Heroic, and just a great couple of pistol shots in from Stown to that top of banana position. And for OG, I kind of did mention at the start of this that they have been quite light when it comes to the pistol rounds. They're 3 from 8 on CT side and 0 for 7 on T side pistols. So this could then be going 0 and 8, Yumi.
See if they fix things. Great block in from Stown. That smoke's a little too shallow. Cadian does have the high ground with the CZ and does find the spray control as well. Valde, ooh, tapping away at one. Cadian's kind of close, and he knows that he could have repositioned, so Cadian just takes the fight to him. It's 3 kills on the CZ, and Heroic, they'll take the pistol round nice and easy.
That was just a good protocol of how they're actually fighting top banana, because it didn't feel aggressive and hungry, did it? It was some more slight adjustments forward around that sort of car top banana half wall position. Stown, even with not a lot of vision, is able to follow up with quite a lot of picks. He's getting support in from his teammate and in-game leader of Cadian with 3. And for OG, they get a couple of kills. They don't get a bomb down. So, hey, let's just eco. Let's lightly buy up a flash and a P250, and, well, that's it.
Well, the same reaction from them on nuke as well. Nade will not hit the money, and instead a lot of damage being done, but there's Cadian to farm in with the SMG. MP9 only gets those 2, but there's Refresh with his own, and tapping away at distance. It's nice and crisp from Refresh. MP9's hella accurate, and he makes sure to make use of it. Eric, 2-0 start, and they get most of those kills on the SMGs, so that extra cash is not misplaced. Cadian immediately gets his hands on an AWP.
And we saw some difference makers coming in from the yesterday games in the upper bracket semifinals, the 9th, 12th, with OG going down into this position, losing to FaZe, boosted Mousesports up into the major. And this is what everything sort of changes with the RMR points, right, Yumi, is that even if you don't win or you lose a game, it can still make different outcomes for other teams that are playing.
Yeah, you can bomb out of one RMR, but do quite well at another, and still enough to carry through it. C'est la vie. OG over towards long, do have a lot of room. Tessa's nade is decent, but Flames will be right past it, but they don't clear out Shush. Valde clearing the bomb site instead. The smoke does so much, and he full spammed Montu as well. It's Refresh at the back of the bomb site that keeps things even more interesting because OG had to deal with him as well, but Flames does double up. It's Alexi leaving things up to the young blood in the site and trying to deal with the rotations, but they're just playing whack-a-mole back and forth. They toy with them, and now Flames has to do everything. That bomb still over towards short, but they know where Flames was last seen. Cadian, AWP shot missed, and Texas, no, it can't be. Flames, it's an ace. Are you serious?
Oh my goodness, what is that, Yumi? Oh, that is such a sick round coming through. Flames with such low HP. He's waiting for the distraction. He's hoping Alexi can catch off some of the rotates, and he gets away with it. He's on red HP in the graveyard to win that clutch forward, an ace clutch. Oh, you don't see that every day.
He should have been a dead man. SMG up close as well, and somehow he's still able to win the fight. That's 2 aces and 2 maps here for Flames. They have really struck gold with the young acquisition. We knew that. We've seen some of the performances he's put up so far at this tournament. Sometimes even that's not enough.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Honestly. And for OG, that's normally a play you see in a quarterfinal or a semi-final, not in a 9th, 12th bracket.
Well, Heroic going for some gimmicky stuff as well towards this B site. It's under siege. They're wrapping through construction. So many SMGs, and Cadian just gets run over. It's flying Alexi. Tessis. Smoke does give him a bit more room. There might be another player they don't foresee, but Stown runs through his own. Heroic not getting too much done, just a whole lot of damage, but the frags are sparse. 2 in a row here from OG. Immediately after, things look so dire round 3.
It's like getting on the tube in rush hour over there. Just chaotic, just people everywhere. So much happening over at that B side. And for Heroic, no one really got comfortable in that situation. They're all trying to play defensive. They're trying to work in and around the utility. There's so many smokes down.
And they went for that boost, dark, then they get flashed, and before they know it, there's no safe haven on the site. So, yeah, Heroic really not anticipating this faster pace. I don't think they realized that OG would go into as many SMGs as that, but only surviving with the one player, it wasn't exactly like he could get like a comfortable rifle buy. Maybe a bit of a misread on what's going on. Getting a little replay in from that round 3 where Flames was cold to order.
Jeez.
I mean, how did he takes 1 SMG bullet? One more would have done him.
4 HP.
Yeah.
Insane.
It all went by in a flash. Maybe it's just a flash in the pan here for the CT start of Heroic. They won the pistol the subsequent round, and now difficulties. Now that OG are on these rifles, you can see that they only have the Shush M4. Refresh a 5.7, but standard issue for everyone else. OG don't want to get caught out by anything crazy. Especially on the CT side of Nuke, we did see Heroic go for a lot of aggressive maneuvers, sometimes not even having like a secondary support player to help enable it. I think Refresh was the one that was kind of diving through smokes. So especially on a low buy like this, you do anticipate that Heroic might go for some initiative plays like that. So extra air of caution.
Yeah, just stack it up heavy. And honestly, this stack play could work out quite well. You've got the bomb, 3 players in Banana, a couple of lurks towards the bottom of Banana, and even on second mid from Nico, not spotting anything. And OG, it's going to be difficult to gather this information that it is a B stack. Do they have some sort of feeling that they are running into something? Because Heroic might retake top Banana.
Oh god, timing's bad for Montu. Takes the dink and a whole lot of damage. Tried to deploy a smoke. This is all just a distraction, really, but that's the bomb being spotted out. So this really helps sell the idea that it's going to be a B play, but with 30 seconds left, the amount of space that OG have towards long, A site's destined to be cleared out, and there's no one home for Heroic.
Yeah, it was a decent attempt, and that's why we call it a gamble stack, don't we, Yumi? You gamble, you hope.
Play the 50-50.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was the 50 that wasn't them getting hit. They're just holding on to their weapons. You've got to imagine the M4 is going to be wanting to save in. Everyone else, though, they might as well have a crack. I guess you're losing some Kevlar onto Refresh. Exit kill, if you can somehow recover a weapon, bring another AK or an M4A1S into that next round, could be all right.
Problem is, I don't think they can get into the apartments, which is, like, best place to maybe deal with, like, saving players here for OG. So, yeah, they're a little cut off. And not trying too hard at it. Around the corner. Oh, it could be enough for a kill. Yeah, Cadian can get his hands on an AK. They're running out of there, but Montu there on the retreat. Cadian cannot get away. Too many players there in quick response for OG, so that rifle doesn't fall out of hands. They do lose an armored player, but that's not really the biggest of deals. Heroic can muster another buy. The problem is that they'll be really light on a lot of their utility, and so maybe we see some of the drop nades come into effect, whether those A players that may be able to run a little lighter, give a Molotov, maybe an HE over to that CT start. Yeah, there's a Molotov and an HE, just given over to some of those B players. So good presence of mind for these Heroic guys. Then I thought Cadian was going to act as like a ferryman of those nades for a second.
Yeah, some early anti-rush nades, just trying to make it more difficult for the T's to get into the apartments. And this OG in the last handful of months have started to prove themselves to probably be the best Inferno team in Tier 1 CS. When you have a look at what the competition is on this map, they've taken, one loss in the last 3 months, and that was against Renegades on LAN that went into OT, where in that series, they really didn't play the best of Counter-Strike at all. They've beaten Team 1, they've beaten G2, Forza, Sinners, FaZe twice, and Dignitas. I mean, there's some decent scalps in that list.
Yeah. G2, the one that stands out the most because their Inferno is talked about quite a lot as well. You know, a pretty staple of their map pool.
Yeah.
It's a tall order, and one that Heroic will have to respond with. See that utility drying up for them. Should they end up in a retake scenario, they have to rely on the Kid of Tessus. Nade is great, though. Very well timed over towards Banana, so Flames tanks it. Full-on headbutt and the explosion. So Stown, with a smoke deployment, can call for reinforcements. You see those rotates in from the arches coming soon, but I don't think that OG are really in a great spot to deal with the trailer. They're, I think, in store for the whole movie. Smokes in, Tessus could go in with a flash, but Stown is the first port of call, and they run through smokes. Stown and Tessus are able to lock things down. That bomb is out in the open. Their head stacked as well, so round in the corner ain't great. The tower there from Heroic able to deal with the AWPer, and between the two of them, lock out that B site.
And notice too, even for Mad2, after the execution comes in, they wait, 2 or 3 seconds and that smoke dissipates. So they had the opportunity of just waiting for that smoke to run out. And for counter utility, other than the resmoke that Stown put down the top of Banana, what did they have? A flash in CT spawn, and that was it. We had no more counter utility at all for the B players, and Heroic just get it done. The OG just run through the resmoke.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready for Heroic to be in like the perfect spot to have a deep CT flash lined up, is maybe what caught them out, but yeah, they were running real dry and still able to pull it together. So great effort there from Heroic, but yeah, that misstep from OG to run past smokes. Deep utility now here for Heroic. Much more presence towards this Banana position. Molotov in, the flash accompanying. And this time, Flames doesn't want any of that heat. HE goes down to him, unable to dodge the second though. Didn't see it coming.
Oh, you baited him there. Oh my goodness! All right then. Well, they baited the peek forward. What a flick down!
Hot
the verticality. All right, here we are. Game on.
Had like a crack peek as well, so the fact that he flicks down perfectly horizontal, that's great. Oh no, now the rush in towards the site. Oh, everyone crumbles here for Heroic. Nothing going right in those opening exchanges. They get Nico, but there's OG there with fast trades. They find the trio of entries. Sorry, it was a vertical flick down.
I was going to say, man, I wasn't going to bring it up.
I was like, horizontal? Why have I said that? What a blunder.
Do you know what I love in that round, Yumi? Is that we get a shot of a lifetime, really, from the AWPer, and there's follow-up. It's not just, oh, he's hit a great shot and the round's over. No, instead, Faude gets an entry. Flames gets an entry.
Yeah,
Alexibi gets an entry. They get out of the apartments, in from short side. It's just so much damage. And Heroic, their economy is so down the drain. They really don't have a lot of funds behind them.
Yeah, I don't think Heroic were going to be in a spot to really react off of that. So it's a shot that Mantu's not going to hit every day of the week.
Here we go. Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's some of the advantages as well of some left eye peaks. You know, peeking with that ult can be a little devastating in towards short. You don't want to be moving in on angles like it. That's why long is often the one that ulpers will frequent. Unless they've got like an accompanying rifler with them. But that's not supposed to happen. So OG continue with a little bit of this T-sided start. Yeah, sure, Heroic have clapped back with one rifle round, but that felt more like a mistake from OG than the other way around. It feels like Heroic are playing almost too passive. What's great about them, usually on CT sides, is that they are able to shift things up and play a bit more dynamically. Right now, they're playing very contained in towards these sites, and that can be quite trying. You know, OG will get away with running a little light on some of their defaults. Nades are good, but there's refreshes completely isolated, and Shush dies through the smoke. I mean, the A site's free now.
Jeez, what a brackets take. And that whole round has some great variation from it, something we haven't really seen from the brackets take before. So Nico flashes himself and peeks with it in the apartments, because I know that Heroic don't mind that sort of AWP and bait of 2 players in the apartments on the end to just try and peek off it. They realized, okay, nothing's there. We'll smoke off long side. We'll peek out wide into that porch quad angle. And then even Valde is able to get the long play with just the slight edge of the spam, really, right?
Yeah.
You might have seen a slight little pixel on the edge of that smoke, or it could have just been a straight spam attempt. 2 kills on A, opens up the round, and there's not really much of a hunt, is there? Nico's thinking, okay, might hang around Arch. It's not really worth it. Let's just let them hold on to their weapons. OG up to 5. And this is maybe giving us less concerns of what we saw yesterday. That slow start against FaZe, not really being able to get much on that T round at all of 5. They've now replicated, but there's going to be so much more. At least we can expect so much more to be found in this first half.
I think OG know as well this is going to be a pretty uphill battle all in all. They're expecting, as they're implementing variations themselves, that Heroic will start to throw a few curveballs here and there. So keeping that buffer nice and healthy does give them that benefit of being able to play around and adapt. See, half commitment in from Heroic around that saved weaponry, and double dualies are a part of it. Don't know that I'm the biggest proponent of this, especially when head armor is involved, but yes, we'll see. I know. Every time I bring up the dualies, I was casting that Thomas clip as well. Like, I have to eat my words.
Oh, well, we could see a slight apps pop coming through from Heroic. The only difference is they don't have the bomb trailing, and there's not 3 players or anyone lining up smokes to a moto or flash over the top. So they look to go a bit of an aggressive peak. Mantu getting right up to the end, only landing damage onto Cadia.
They gotta be a little nervous. Yeah, they're taking a little peppering. The seasoning there for Heroic, and now about whether they can put the bun in the oven. I feel like the connotations of that don't really apply properly. Not talking about a 9-month cycle here. Bomb still dropped in T-spawn, though, over at those steps, so Nico does go back to recover. And while there ain't no baby on the way, but the bomb is certainly making its way over. And Heroic did go for the gamble stack, but they break away from it just as OG are about to execute.
Missed timing, and even Stout can't capitalize. Refresh drops the bomb. Okay,
God.
time is relatively low. He's got an AK picked up. Now he's just got to waste time. He needs to try and get another pick. Great molly forward, deals with the bar, and he even follows up with a triple. He needs to look back over that left-hand side of bedroom, because there's another player out from second mid. OG have got to get the pace in. They've got to try and recover this bomb. Refresh could be in for more. Pre-firing, the angle doesn't quite come in. Valde's got to run into A and try and get that bomb down. There's a short side player that he doesn't know about. It's Cadian right underneath him. What a play in from Refresh. The apartments look.
Yeah, he just ran at that bomb as they were trying to get themselves through the apartments, and Refresh makes things a whole lot more interesting. Nico wasn't ready. Gun not out, and so that AK is fully loaded for Refresh to do the damage? That's ridiculous. That shouldn't be happening. Refresh really putting those dualies to work. And hey, they rebound just like that. It's this half buy that recoils them back into this. That's part of the provision from OG playing a little bit more conservatively, not always hunting the trades. And now Alexi's been picked off at the start of the round. Kaden was primed on that logs angle, ready for that particular peak. And the immediate punishment is great. What's the adaptation? Is there going to be a fast reaction? Bracket seems to be the play.
Very quick. As soon as they lose that opening pick, try and run through that incendiary. Just does not work out at all. Flames getting picked off. Valde now dropping. Nico the same. And this whole round, the extra pace, that acceleration into brackets just does not work for any opening kills. Struggle with the entries, and Mantu's got no option but just to hold on to the AWP, bringing it to the next round. Heroic, they tie us up at 5-5.
Yeah, good stuff. Kaden getting very involved in the early fights, and then just that brackets play breaking down. Well, we are ending up in this bit of a back and forth. You know, I almost feel similarly to that earlier Nuke second half. But this time there's a few more stretches. It isn't quite as uncertain when it comes to these mid rounds. We're getting a few more convincing performances. I'm not going to have a tall order.
Yeah. I think he's done. What can he really fight? He's got 30 seconds to defend against 3 CT players who are pretty hungry. They're pretty close to his position. So yeah, he might try and say if he can isolate a couple of these 1v1s, even preempting this left-hand side. Is he going to do it? No, not going to happen. All right. There was a chance they could have caught him after time. Doesn't quite happen. They dropped the AWP, and for OG, can they really afford it? No. So there's not going to be an AWP.
Now, do they run light? Do they run SMGs? They could have potentially bought around it. We'd seen a fast play in a B that worked quite well for them. Talked about how Heroic were kind of thrown in for a chaotic string of affairs, but no, half buy. Certainly makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, if Heroic can win one, so can we. Mind of OG right there. Nade is solid, but so is the triple nade in response. Doesn't quite connect fully onto Cadian, so he gets away. It's down, unaccounted for as well. And so he sends them to Pound Town. 3 kills in. So far, so good. And Alexi, only the P250 and a flash.
Yeah, great stuff in the bait and switch. Cadian, again, he's fighting a lot of early contact duels, isn't he? He's playing up from this top of banana position. He's finding success with the AWP. And all it takes is that one advantage to start drawing the attention over. Stound's trying to play anti-flash. He's turning away from all the util. Ends up finding 3. And yeah, okay, he gets dropped. What about the rest of the rounds? There's not really much success there for OG at all.
And I think as well, they kind of created that condition where Cadian, you picked Alexi jumping on logs in a round prior as well. So they maybe just thought he'd go for a similar peak. But instead, it was the whole shebang with the bait and swap. Cadian keeping down deep mid. Stounds as well up close, but he flubs the line. Montu able to recover in time. Refresh is completely boxed in, but somehow he gets away with that. He's getting free fire spammed around the corner, and Alexi still folds. Refresh is so elusive. He's round smokes.
Oh my goodness, do they not know that Refresh is here? They might not have any idea. They're going to pre-aim it. Oh, Valde wins out a very important fight. And even for Shush just trying to play on the other side of the smoke, they know that he's here as well. They're going to start swinging him out wide, and he can't get back to safety. So much chaos going down in that top of banana. And Cadian, he's going to swap over the AK. He's going to try and clutch.
Yeah, coming in from the back lines. I don't know that they'll anticipate this particular rotation or not. Of course, while they were in that fighting towards Banana, could have moved to contain, so it might be accounted for on the side of OG. Another smoke is down. Valde's inside of it, head down as well. Feels like a Dodo experience. Cadian, of course, won't spot him, won't understand that that's what he's done. They've snuck through it inopportune times, so Cadian makes some noise, and he's going to get shot in the back momentarily, surely. Valde not pulling the trigger on it just yet. Cadian still clearing the site, and he has no idea where he could be, and finally Valde shows his hand as soon as that smoke's deployed. It's a Valde clutching a 3K for a 6th equalizing round for OG.
Well, I'd love to figure out how quickly Heroic start to realize how the hell he got there. Because it's like, right, Cadian's coming in for the clutch. He's coming banana. He's clearing out the sandbags. He's clearing out the car angle. And then I've got a pick. And then, hang on a minute. I've dealt with the guy at New Box. There's someone in banana? How's this happening?
I mean, he must have walked CT. Must have. we were both hiding. It could have happened. Well, money's a little thin here for Heroic. A couple players could afford up buys, but not the full squad. They won't fully connect. The Molotovs are in. They want to really make a quick work of this. They've got these double SMGs once again here on the side of OG. This takes me back to, old school Vega Squadron almost feels like. They want to run these guys straight down. The tag is great from Cadian, and Stound delivers as well. So the initial aggression with those SMGs finds nothing.
Do they just continue pace, just get quickly into this A site, try and beat the rotations from the B players making their over? They're going to have to deal with Shush out in pit, who's got Incendio trying to slow it down. He's peaked on the contact, and now we can get that through.
Molly is greatly timed, but so is the flash. Refresh found nothing, and Shush finally gets overwhelmed, but the Molotov finishes off the job. It's a trade by utility. Mantu, 1-on-3, and there's still Refresh in the bomb site. Other 2 players segmented off by a smoke. Refresh taking so much damage, but Mantu can't really safely cross into the site, and that smoke fades. Stound delivers the finishing blow. Up to 7 now for Heroic. They have been able to prevent themselves from getting reset here on the CT side. OG, again, might have to run a little light in terms of what they can bring to the table.
And we're getting into another position again where we're seeing similarities of what happened on Nuke translating here. Not so much in terms of the competitive nature, the lack of streaks. Yeah, we saw that 9-0 portion for OG, and that was it. Other than that, Heroic were getting 2-3 rounds at max.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the same here on Inferno. Neither team has been able to sort of build up a strong economy line at all.
See Cadian going for a couple more passive openings. Not going to be given any of those chances with that Hero AK in Valde's hands. It's all about where he decides to place himself. The rest of the squad's just got Glocks. Surprised that Valde's not giving these flashes over to a teammate. You know, try and prime him up for an easy enough fight. Maybe they're just the bait. Quickly, Montu, jump in front of me. So that if Cadian's ulping, I can quick find the trade. I promise. Oh, there are the flashes. There we go.
Ooh, stab it wide.
Oh
My goodness!
Never
All right.
mind.
Is this just the site opened now? Tessus has to try and fall back. He's got to
They're
wait for
wrapping him
rotation.
too.
Oh, that was sick. They didn't even have a deep sea smoke. So he's thinking to himself, they're not going to wrap construction. It can't happen. They haven't smoked deep.
How on earth did they manage this one? They had Glocks around 1 AK, and they take the B bomb site with minimal resistance. It's a fast entry, and then that quick wraparound. I mean, this is a done deal. Heroic are kind of posturing up to the save here, and they're not really moving an inch. That's mad. That is completely devastating. OG should never get away with this.
And honestly, anytime we see a T side like wrapping construction to get back into coffins, it's normally if we see some deep util, right? That they're getting some deep CT control, and it can be readable. You get like a lurk smoke at the first oranges, so it prevents the angles from dark and Nubox so you can get their way in. That didn't have any of that. So that element of surprise of Mantu coming in and dealing with the backstab, Tessus is like, hang on a minute. How has this happened? This can't be possible.
It's like, guys, they have the B site. Oh, now they really have the B site. I'm getting shot in the back over here. Caden, where are you? Didn't quite have the Nikes on. Not quite there quick enough. Well, that's a little crazy that OG win that round, so they get themselves up to 7. That's got to weigh on your mind to hear if you're Heroic. I've got a third man over at this B site, so it can't happen again. Alexi, given a chance at it. A little jump spot there from Stown could have been devastating, but instead gets deeper control. Can clear out these logs, can even insert himself there. Miss Molly there from OG. Doesn't feel like the biggest of deals, but you never like to see it.
And that whole round in the last just came to not even the AK doing the majority of damage. And Valde will be happy that he's got more support around him. Notice the protocol, too, for Alexi. As soon as he takes the contact and he sees the jump spot, he just gets out of there straight away. Just gives them the respect of taking the full banana control. Nade goes out. Oh, they've seen the log player. Stan's dead. Yeah. Can't get out of that one, can ya? Anytime you're spotted in logs, they know that you're there. There's nothing you can do.
Oh, off angle for Tessus. The flash is brilliant. Flame's just the easiest fight he's ever seen. Cadian trying to get there in time. Another flash. This is well-timed utility all in all here from OG. Refresh runs right through. He gets 2, so it's still contestable. More space for Cadian to perform. Does he think the smoke is going to fade in time? It doesn't seem so. They're real close by. He'll have to adapt real quick to what Flames is up to. Oh, God, yeah, the barrel gives him up, so Flames ready to spring in. Shush now to clutch a 1-on-2, and he's low HP already. No utility will flush these players out, and Flames doesn't even give him the time of day. It's an 8th round for OG as we move into that second half. Let's see if they can keep that going. That CT side usually looking so good. We'll go to a break. We'll be back.
Sinking
It's a little bit back and forth there in that first half, but OG, this is their map pick coming into the series, and T side, they were gifted with a few interesting rounds. I don't think that we expected all of them to go OG's way, but Heroic, we've seen a little bit tested here in these 9th through 12th deciders, and once again, they are put on the lifeline scenario. They need the second half and a comeback to force a map 3, get at least one win within the bracket.
Yeah, even for Mantu, just that early jump spot out to the bridge angle, coming in from bedroom, just seeing what early they can find. And for OG, they've got a lot of players in spawn, which we don't see that often in pistol rounds.
Yeah, they're really hovering about 2 different ideas, and the burst is coming in. Flames dodging out on most of those nades, saw them coming, and now Alexi moves into position. Flashes are ready for the counterplay. Flames is missing the shots, though, and stands out in the open, but finally Alexi spams through. Flames had to go for the knife because he had no more bullets. It's Alexi that's found 2 all the meanwhile, and actually Alexi sweeping up all of the frags. Now, finally, this bomb can go down, but Refresh is getting spammed. How is Alexi just continuing to get these kills? It's through smokes, it's on trades, and now Shush, a 1-on-3 into CT. Valde makes sure it doesn't fall out of favor. What on earth has just happened? It feels like no one's shooting at Alexi. Alexi doesn't even see half of these guys?
Oh my goodness. That whole round is just like, Flamesy, it's all right, mate. I'm here. Don't worry. Even if you're whiffing shots, the big man's arrived. The in-game leader's here. Because, my goodness, Flames really struggled in that situation. Yeah, he was getting some of the utility from the CT players. It was Alexi that did so much work. And as soon as they tag up what Tessus at the top of coffins, they just know exactly where he is. To deny the bomb, that's sick.
Yeah, the Alexi long flowing hair adds to additional echolocation, perhaps.
Are you doing the same, Yumi? Because I know you've got a similar cut.
Hey, whoa, nobody knows about that.
Yeah.
It's all behind me. One day it'll make its appearance and nobody will know when I grew it. It was a growing hurdle of heroic players in the apartments, and they're kind of rearing to go. Flashes won't be lined up. They're just bursting out and hoping that nobody's ready. Flash is very late, and so nothing being done here on the heroic jump out. Kaden, where were you? I thought the whole idea was that you would throw that flash, but he was preoccupied. I think a little worried about potential flank. Doesn't matter. OG, nice little sweep up. No casualties.
I definitely have enjoyed that. Coming into this game, OG had won, what, it was 2 pistol rounds out of 16. They're now 2 from 4 in this best of 3. And it does just show that maybe it's a red herring, maybe there is more to the issue. They can convert pistol rounds, and in a best of 3 context, maybe that's what's assisting them more than the BO1s. Is that something that we can draw from it? Maybe. I mean, even in their phase game, they were 0-6 in that one, so maybe not at the same time.
And especially when they're doing so well in these in the best of 3 today. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Might just be a day-to-day thing. Maybe a little mental block when it came to getting that path to the major secured. A little more stress-free. More about saving face. And maybe potentially putting Heroic in a weirder spot when it comes to the ranking points. Well, Refresh out here kicking smoke cans. There is a massive gap in that mid-smoke, but one that Heroic won't exactly be able to capitalize on. No one from OG is really contesting brackets. They're sitting inside the sites, so Heroic need to scale up effectively. Feel like they've got enough pieces for an execute. You know, Molotov in towards that pit where you'd often see. Seems like long will be the focus. Smokes are down, and Refresh trying to make his way through these apartments. Player up close, though. Nico, calling out to nades. Could be calling a quick switch, but instead it doesn't matter. Fast bullet there from Refresh. Down as well as found his kill on the rotate. So still 2 more players to beat past here on the side of OG, but they can't really support one another. Mantu, 1 kill. There's the trade, and Valde at the back of the site. 2 with the SMG. Tries to hold down the fort, but there's Alexi moving on in. It's a 1-on-1. Those smokes have faded, and so now there's no real safe haven here for Refresh. So he refreshes the smoke instead. Molly in the site. He takes a lot of damage. Can't get this planted safely, though. But, there's the nade, and Refresh doesn't commit. He didn't want a full foul to that SMG, closing the gap, and Refresh calls in the clutch for Heroic's first on this T side.
Yeah, that was incredibly well played from Refresh. Just the way that he feels as if he's being read with the utility of that incendiary, the HE placement. And rather than just getting that bomb down and just playing out the post plan and hoping he doesn't run through the motor smoke, let's fake him, draw the
Yeah.
fight, draw the opportunity. And Alexi, he just doesn't really know. So, okay, I'm just going to run through this motor smoke. If he isn't planning, okay, hopefully I can win a fight straight away. It just doesn't happen. Heroic, their economy needs to be stabilized because even with that one, it's a huge victory and it's one they'll definitely take. There was only one player staying alive, so we're seeing what, a Galil, some pistols, we're seeing a Mac 10 for Tessus. It's only 2 AKs.
Yeah, it's nothing in comparison to what they had last time over, so it didn't work on the low pistols, but maybe another burst out of the apartments. This time Cadian's in the right spot for it. The flash will hit the mark. Valde's not blinded though. The secondary is great. Valde's blind as a bat, that provides enough time for Nico to recover. So 2 for 1, and Nico's still around these smokes. Yeah, Alexis are already in the right spot to deal with it. Shush is taking a brunt of damage, but in at the pit, he's found. Now Cadian does get his hands on that AK, but too many men on the side of OG already in the sight. It's a nice sweep up there from OG. The second time we've seen this heroic apartments burst, and both times not seeing much success.
Yeah, out of all the strats on T-side Inferno, the apps pop's one of my favorites. Just because if it gets done right, you get the motor smoke down, the flash over the top, and the immediate entries. You can open up a bomb site so quickly. What Heroic struggled with there is whether OG had the initial read early round that they could be facing an apps pop. They've got one in mini pit and in big pit. Between the two of them, they're just running distraction, aren't they? Oh, do we clear out Valde first? Do we clear out Nico? And you're in a position of hesitation that between the two of them, they just get so much damage in. And even Alexi's got the confidence to take these aggressive peeks into Banana. Nico's doing the same. Geez, they're just pushing everywhere.
Nate will finish off the job as well. Shush, not long for the world. There's Refresh up close, and he's trying to get into the balcony, but he missed the jump, and now he's getting shot in the back. It wasn't even on Alexi and Flames to get those kills of Banana, because you could see how aggressive Valde was getting, but even in spite of that, you could see OG had a clear thought in mind. Bottom mid, that's our domain. You stay at those T-steps. Don't move, Tessus.
Now, what I have noticed from Heroic over the series is maybe a lack of a star player, right? We haven't seen that oomph, that one guy that's going to bail them out of situations. Yeah, we've seen the odd clutch here or there. We've seen some decent stuff in from Cadian and from Refresh. It feels as if the flare factor, we had that from Flames out in the first map. In the second, it's being spread over across the board slightly further. Heroic they haven't had a guy that they can back themselves on saying, right, he's going to win us a couple of rounds. He's going to draw us out of these situations. And they've been on the back foot. They've been coming back into both map 1 and in map 2, or at least trying to do so.
Yeah, I think if we look at the group stage, Refresh was that guy, but already we're seeing some of that flair added to the OG repertoire here in today's games. Mantu going for an early peek. While Refresh is certainly still performing, not always led to round wins. Perfect counter flashes in from Heroic prevents the Flames aggression. So I think now we'll see OG just content to keep that hold on the 5-on-4.
Where do they go with this? Because they haven't been able to gather a lot of map presence. They haven't been able to get a lurk up on long side, in brackets, even at the end of the apartments. They've only got Tessus quite passively. They've got the top banana control, and geez, they're just getting hammered by these nades. Another well-placed HG. What have you got left? A lurk smoke that comes out. You've got one more molly. Even for Flames, it's playing second oranges. I don't know how they can force them out in the open. The only way has got to be the flashes.
Bursting execute is certainly a possibility. You can see Smoke and Molotov still in Alexi's hands. One retrieved as Valde made the trade. Now the Smoke at the entrance of B, and they're looking to somehow make its way through it. Molotov is great. Valde on the high ground can deal with it. Alexi just gets a kill via the Molotov. Cadian was Refresh was flashed up. Valde unable to finish off the job, but that's what Flames is for. He just jumps right into him. It's no problems here from OG. They had that 3-man setup. The elevation pays its way off in dividends. And man, yeah, it feels like Heroic are really struggling to compose proper game plans into these rounds. You even talked about, you know, the apartments burst being quite a great strategy in terms of, you know, can basically just take the bomb site very quickly. But it also sometimes comes across on desperation rounds. So the fact that they've used that twice already, and we haven't seen too much added flavor from this T side so far. It's worrying.
And what I am liking with that smoke drop too is that normally, hang on, I'll get to this point in a second, because Valde's just pushing forward out to bedroom, getting a couple of kills, is, oh, for goodness sake, I just want to get the point out. This was some more kills coming in.
You got some time. You got some time.
Yeah. Well, Heroic aren't going to get much done, are they? 2v4 now, they've been hunted. You have a look at that setup. They've got what? Valde boosted up on the flower pots. They put a smoke down. Now, if you normally boost a player up to flower pots, you're not going to have an easy time of re-smoking banana outside of banana because you just don't have the position. But in that one right there, you can't throw a re-smoke from that flower pot position. So, okay, we'll put the smoke back over to Alexi. He's going to re-smoke. We've got Flamesy in the site. So it's plays that maybe you weren't able to do before of setups of where players can actually be when they're getting utility down.
Yeah, especially just like minor optimizations, right? In terms of how they're able to hold. Great point to pick up on. And like you were mentioning before, not much the Heroic could do in this round. They tried to flash play in mid. They lost another player. And Kaden with the tech can find nothing similarly. OG, again, the CT side really looking impressive here on Inferno. They have been one of the early adopters of that utility droppage. Some teams shied away. We had some pretty heated debates. This isn't Counter-Strike. This is Counter-Strike.
Yeah, there was both, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And to be fair, when the mollies first got introduced, I think it was pretty much everyone on one side rather than split down the middle. So I'm noticing it's more 50-50 this time around.
Yeah, the small bits of innovation have, I think, convinced a few more people. It's like, wait, I can get cheeky with my own flashes. Well, a little bracket set up here for OG, Mantu and... Oh, actually, never mind. I was going to say Mantu and Valde can lock things in, but if Nico's finding success in the apartments as well, then things are already looking a little shallow here for Heroic. One man down already. That bomb is just outside of the balcony as well, so it can be recovered rather safely. Problem is, again, it feels like Heroic are not getting a whole lot of control for free. If Stound can somehow break into B, that would have been great, but he's already... I mean, he's dropped through the edge of the smoke. There's a minor angle that Alexi capitalizes on.
Yeah, just hoping for more. Trying to see if they can catch them off. And for Heroic, they're struggling to find space. They're struggling for an opening pick. They're even getting pushed out of the top of Banana, and you just don't expect it. Perfect timing. There's Shush and Tessus, the last couple left, and just don't overpeak, get a smoke down. That was a slightly unnecessary duel that didn't need to come in, and it allows something to be achieved in this round for Heroic.
Oh god, the dinks continuously onto Tessus. Gets his bell completely broken, let alone donged. Well, what can you do if you're Shush? A prospect of this save is a bitter pill to bite down on. Heroic, they're on that max loss bonus, sure. They really just want to get a round or two. They've gotten one this half so far. It's looking a little rough. And yeah, we talked a bit about like the pressures about this game. It's kind of stress off the shoulders of both of these teams. But you're still expecting Heroic to want to get these confident steps forward ahead of this major. So the fact that they have put, I mean, they're staring down the barrel of going 2-0 in both of these best of threes. How confident can you be?
Well, not confident in the T-sides at all. Think back to the game yesterday against Big. They got 4 rounds on Nuke T-side. Got it into the second half, had a comeback on CT. What about them on Vertigo? They're up 9-6 at the half on CT. They went into their T-side, got nothing. We saw 4 individual rounds. Okay, there was 2 actually that were together here on Nuke today. So that's another 4 rounds on T-side. What are we seeing here on their T-side of Inferno? 1 round. Their T-sides have been awful in the BO3s.
Yeah, are we switching up callers? Is, you know, they're having a little fun with it? Trying a little experimental system? Doesn't really feel like they're missing out on some of these ideas, but they're just losing out so many of these opening fights consistently. It's been a real hindrance for both maps so far. Mantu, a little dangerous there on the cross. I think Tessus might have spotted that opportunity, and he's got this massive gap in a timing. Tessus could take this round completely in his own hands.
I like it. I really like this space being created, and he could even hold off, not even take the fight straight away. Okay, Lexi doesn't go out to that long side, so has to take the fight, and there's only one player at B of Flames to try and defend. He is going to get completely exposed. Mantu deals with the backstab, and there's a re-smoke down to Banana. They're actually wasting time on this, and Flames gets a kill through the smoke. That's the bomb being dropped.
It can't keep happening. Now they're trying to move around this smoke. Montu's in a prime position with this AWP, and the flick down is great through the edge of the wall. It doesn't matter. It's quick flicks galore, and OG, they will, I think, be able to take this 2-0. Again, I'm scared. It's Refresh. It's a Galil. I've seen him do dangerous stuff from positions like this. Hazard a guess that it's not going to be this time over. Lightning can only strike in one spot so many times over. 1 kill onto Flames. Molly and CT as well will give him enough room to plant this one down. Maybe I shouldn't count him out just yet.
Yeah, flash over. He's looking to fight. He's looking to try and get into CT. They line up for a moment. He gets one more pick, but not enough. OG making a 2-0 to end their campaign on LAN. And honestly, a beautiful turnaround, Yumi. When you think about OG's performance yesterday, where they come into Inferno, they're down 5-14, they bring it back, they get bottled in the third map. The mentality's got to be ruined after that. They've come in today, they've played some good CS, and they've ended the winning streak for Heroic. They get the 2-0.